Good morning. Uh, Today, what I'm going to talk to you about is my continuation from my reloading series that I'm doing. Today, I went out and I had yesterday afternoon received my 50 Carcano casings. So that put with my other ones, they'll give me 75 casings, and I think that's a good place to start out with for doing them. But But because I'm a new guy at this and I'm still learning and I'm actually learning by a book, I really don't have anybody that show me how to do this, which is fine. That's pretty much how I've done most of the gun work that I've done. But anyway, I think for me anyway, as a new reloader, when I'm resizing, one of the worst sounds that I can hear when I'm doing it is when you push it down. When you pull it up, it's a little tough to pull up. It goes bang. Well, what that means is that the casing is stuck inside the die, and it's stuck inside the die probably because I didn't put enough lube on it. You read, put a thin coat of lube. Don't put too much lube. Put a thin coat of lube. Well, two out of the first three cartridges that I did today, um, they got stuck up inside there, and I'm telling you, they're really a bitch to get out. Um, Today I was using the Lee die. The different companies make the different dies, and I also have an RCPS die, but this is not for the Carcano, but I know we use that for illustration. Like I said, it got stuck. The two of them got stuck up inside there. So the lube that I was using my wax, and people swear by it. You read about it, people think it's just the greatest thing, and it's the perfect lube. And maybe it's because it's friggin' 20 degrees outside and I'm in my garage. Maybe that's why it's not working. But it didn't work very well. So I went to my old standby here, which is the Lee resizing lubricant, and it worked great. I didn't put too much on there. Like I said, you put it on the casing itself. You don't put any on the neck, and then you just put just a little dab like that on the mouth, and it goes up inside, and it came back out, and everything was fine. I've got my casings here, and I'll be moving on to the next step, which I think we already did that with cleaning and the trimming and stuff. But anyway, we're talking about stuck card casings today anyway. So anyway, so you get your casing, and you try to pull it out with with the press, and all it does is it messes up the end here, the little rim that's on. No, it's not really a rim, but the little end of the cartridge casing. So what you have to do is you have to take the die out. So you have to unscrew it, and I'm trying to do this without getting one stuck in there again. But for the leaves, what it did was you take it out and you end up with something like that. Well, we can imagine having the rest of the cartridge sticking out there. So you have to get that cartridge out. The first way you can do it is if you look up online, there are kits that you can buy that will help you pull that cartridge out. So what I did was the first time I got one stuck when I the first was doing it, a week ago or whatever it was. You buy this kit, and what the kit has is it has a spacer, it has a screw, it has a thing for doing tapping, and it has a drill. So what you do is you take, if you can imagine this sticking out of the, actually it's in a lot closer because it's stuck. So what you do is you take your drill. Well, what I would do first is you would unscrew the top of your this is the thing that opens the mouth of your your casing, and it's the part that's that takes out the primer. So you unscrew it and try to push it up as far as possible, because you want this out of the way as much as you can, because you're going to be drilling and you don't want to hit the that with the drill, because you'll ruin it. You're going to do it. You're going to hit it with the drill anyway, and you're going to ruin it. At least that's what my understanding is, and that's from my experience anyway. So luckily, you can buy them. The leads are like $3 to buy a new one. So I mean, you can be a lesson learned. So anyway, so what you do is you take and you drill a hole in you pull this up as far as you can. And you drill a hole in the bottom of the casing with this specially sized drill. Then you take your tapper and you put some threads on the end of the casing. By now you've lost your deep deep primer. It's ground up pretty good. I don't know if you probably can't see it, but I was trying to show it. See, you can see. Oop, there it is. See, that's what's left. It's just the nub. So anyway, so you got this up inside, and you tapped it already. Then you take your screw. You imagine this is up inside the casing. I mean, inside the the die. So you put this spacer on top like that, and you put your screw inside and screw it into the casing. Then as you screw it, it's going to pull the casing out of the die. And I'll tell you, it don't come out easy. I mean, it's stuck in there good. So it's going to take you a while. You can use it comes with a Allen wrench that you can use to try to do that. What I have used is my Wheeler screwdriver with the Allen wrench attachment on it, and I've used that to try to do it like that. And what you're going to have to do is take and put your die in the vise to hold it. Or what you can do is when you with your press is put it in backwards, so it's sticking up, so it'll stick up out of the end of your press, and you just back it down enough so that you have your spacer and stuff sticking on there like that. So that's another way of doing it. That's the way I did it. So it was nice and solid in there. You take and you keep screwing this in, and as you screw it in, it's going to pull the casing out, and it pulls it out. If this is attached to the end of your die, then that will come out of the casing. Since mine was destroyed anyway, I took and I unscrewed it so the whole thing came out, and that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it and saving your decapper and so forth is I took the decapper and all out of the die itself. So you have it. You can imagine like this, and you can imagine the decapper sticking out the end. So you can imagine it looks like that. And the end of the where it attaches the screw up here, it would be sticking out like that. So what I did was I just took my rubber mallet, and I just beat the end of the decapper, and eventually it'll come out. It'll come out of the die, and you'll have something that looks like this, and you'll still have your decapper. That'll still be sticking out the bottom. So then you have this here. So what are you going to do with this now? Is I took a hacksaw. You can use a Dremel. You just got to be careful that you don't cut things that are inside, and you just cut the outside of the rim. And when you pull it off, it just comes out, and then you get to save it. That's my trick. I thought about it after I destroyed that first decapper. I said, I can't keep buying these things while I'm learning how to do this, and it worked out pretty well. I mean, like I said, I've got a couple stuck today, and those two I was able to salvage the decapper without having to buy a new one. Anyway, those are, to me, I'm sure there are other ways of getting the casing out of the die than what I've shown you, but to me that works the best. It's a little time consuming, especially with a hacksaw. I'm using a hacksaw because it happened at 3 in the morning, and I wasn't going to break the Dremel out and wake up my wife because she gets mad when I do that. So I have to respect that. But anyway, for resizing, like I said, I'm done with resizing of all my cartridges that I have now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean them and I'm going to inspect them. I'm going to trim them so that they're all the right size, and then I'm going to prime them. And we can do. I'll show you how I do that. I'll show you how I do that when I load them. I bought some gunpowder from a place called the Primer's House. Looked good. I mean, they had the gunpowder I was looking for, and the price that the other places had. And a lot of the other places were sold out and whatever. So I put $60 into buying some gunpowder, and then I didn't hear from them. So I started investigating, and I found out that it's a scam site. People take advantage, like anything else in the gun industry, anywhere else. Stuff that's hard to get, they're going to offer it, and they'll offer good quick shipping and good service because that's what their customers deserve, and etc. And all they're doing is taking the money and putting it in their bank, and people like me are helping to support them. But when I get a little more cash, I'll buy some more gunpowder, and we'll load these cartridges up, and we'll go shoot them. At least a couple anyway. It's getting cold out. I'm not in a real big hurry to get all these loaded. It's because we probably won't go to the range now till it warms up in the spring, and so it'll give me a chance to accumulate some cartridges and some rounds, and be able to shoot them. So I guess buyer beware, and they got me. They don't get me often, but they do. They got me. So just because somebody has a pretty website doesn't mean that they're gonna give you what you want. Um, anyway, so that's the next step in this, and I'm going to do a video on my Brazilian project. I'm just about done with that, and it's at more of a Frankenstein. It's got some Brazilian in it. It's got some Belgian in it. It's got some German in it. So but it looks good. I think it looks good, and I'll show you that later on. All right, thank you. Bye.